All right, back again. 517. Ready to get it in. So let's go ahead and check out. Just remind ourselves we wanted to see it come down into this demand zone and then come up, and it looks like it actually did make that particular. We wanted to see it come back. We saw it come down here and tap in, and we saw it break above. We wanted to see it come back down here. It didn't end up moving back down. And now we have what it looks like is a new area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that. And we're going to go ahead and say, let's zoom out a bit. Yeah, so we see price just recently validated this for buys. Right here. So now we want to see it come back into here somehow, some way. Let's look on the daily. I mean, we're still coming up. Let's go ahead and move down time frames. Yeah, so this is what we're saying here. That was validated. Still have this large area right here. That's largely unmitigated. Looks like that would be a pretty good spot to look for trades off of. So we'll go ahead and put an alert there. And 1 second. Let's get our demand zone alerts set up. All right, I'm gonna create that. And we're gonna wait. We're gonna go down. While we're waiting, let's look and see what price was doing. Boom, came up like that. I mean, if we go down to the 15-minute, we still see this refinement. Although you could argue that potentially this is mitigated here on open. So it opened, came down, mitigated about 50%, and then it took off. We saw it move sideways, move up. We still want to see this go bullish though. All right, if we're on a lower time frame, we're on that 12-minute. We're looking here on this 30-minute, and you can still see it broke up here. It wicked up right here in this area, but then we continued up. So I think this would be considered the bigger body break, and so we could look for this lower time demand here to continue bullish, right? Because what we want to see is you want to see that ran. So we're still overall bullish. We want to make sure that we want to take the opportunities that present themselves. So if I go down here, right, on this 30-minute time frame, we see that nice unmitigated zone after this break up, right? So it would make sense that we could see price come down into here to continue up, but of course when it gets down into here, we want to confirm. So I'm going to go ahead and add that alert here as well on the 30-minute, and we're just going to wait. Let's go to the euro. So it's like euro shot down. We wanted to see it break here before we look to buy again, but it looks like it's continuing down here. That's a pretty large move down. Now, we could see this potentially being some type of absorption maybe. But the only issue with this is that we want to go down onto a lower time frame and we want to see a proper accumulation. So if we go down here on the 15-minute, let's go ahead and erase that. Whoops. Right, we saw that ran. So now, if we were going to go ahead and take a trade, because actually, excuse me. We're looking at this. I'm looking at this now, and I'm like, maybe we could come down a bit lower. although this could be an absorption. We want to see lows breaking lows and then one more low to be broken. So we could see it come down and mitigate into here, right? So on this 2 hour, right, if we're looking left, right, we see a large move up. So then we want to ask ourselves, where did that come from? And of course, largely, you could say that. The only issue with that, it looks like that is actually mitigated. So then we move it up to like something like that. Right, but once we see it tap into there, right, because now we're starting to see we have this low that formed. We want to sweep this low into there and then sweep that low, and then we finally want to break. So we'd probably be looking at like a break right here after something like this happened, right? Like that. That's what I would say. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wait. Now for gold, it's looking like we're getting kind of what we wanted to see here. So it came down really aggressively, breaking lows. And we could potentially see it sweep this low here. You see it start to form, or it already did form. So this is the current MB we have, right? Because we broke that, right? So we want to see it break one more time and then break up. So micro, what I'm looking at is something like this, right? One more time and then we see break. And this is kind of what it's highlighting over here. I didn't erase it just to keep the idea fresh in the mind. But when we see this break here, right? That's MB1. Then we'd be looking to, of course, buy stop whatever forms in this area here to go higher. So we're going to go ahead and wait for that to play out. I'm going to go ahead and put an alert on these two areas to see which breaks first. I'm going to say we're going to call it that. And we're going to get rid of this stuff over here. We'll keep like that. Just so we can see if it continues to play out in that way. And I think pretty much that's all I really want to look at. I don't really trade that. Let's look at this. Looks like we're still bullish here. We were wanting to see it come down somewhere into there. We had this breakdown. We could say, hey, broke above there. Where did that come from? Somewhere in this area. See price come down to continue higher to ultimately run this high at $122.79. But that's just for my own edification at this point. So here, not really interested in that. Doesn't look too good. All right, let's go to the good old Bitcoin. Looks like we have some room to run here. I think we're ultimately still bullish. But to where, right? Because we see this large move up, which ended up validating this. And we haven't seen price come back into it. So we at least want to see price come back and mitigate into here. We could, yeah, we want to see price at least get down into here before we look for buys. Obviously, that's a huge zone. So then we say, okay, well, where can we refine this to? Well, of course, We have this area here if we want to continue bullish aggressively, or we have some areas in here. The only issue is you see comes down 50% mitigated, right? It opens, mitigates about 50%, continues. Only thing I'd say is like somewhere in here on a lower time frame. So what I'm saying, somewhere in here on a lower time frame, I'm talking about this large candle up, right? So in a lower time frame, you'd probably see some decent zone in there. Open, mitigation, up, right here, probably something like this. That to me looks like the only unmitigated area. Everything else looks, I guess you could use like these small areas in here, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with this. So again, striped pajamas coming in, but these are the two areas that I would look for confirmation at. So I'm gonna go ahead and put an alert. We're gonna do that, and we're gonna go ahead and do this as well. Awesome. All right, and that is going to wrap up the trade ideas for 5/17/23. Hope you learned something, and as always, have a wonderful day.